Amen. Okay. Awesome, awesome. This is my pastor, my friend from the big city of Midland, Texas. Amen. Go ahead and praise for him as he comes.
Hey, I'm one of those guys that has a great excuse. I got a phone call before I was leaving to come here. 5 people were heading to my house in Midland saying, we're stopping to see you. Have you ever dropped in on someone to surprise them? They may not be there. So I told them how to get in the house, and they keep texting, when are you going to be here? When I get there. But I wouldn't trade this for anything. You know, it's just been an amazing couple of days. And my experience with Bishop, I tell you, this guy has really been a blessing in my life. And you just can't ever thank some people enough. And I know a lot of us have just been thanking him over and over again. But I do. I thank him. I thank him for the leadership. I thank him for the inspiration. I thanking him that for what we're able to do right now with our lives, it has transitioned right through him. So I thank God for people who God, and I don't take this the wrong way, but God puts people in your way because we're always going somewhere, right? We're always doing something. And then God puts something in your way. About 6 years ago, a pastor next to us was pushing and promoting that in our area, about 60% of all the children had no care. They were taken out of homes and nowhere to go. So they're being shipped out. I think now we're still at about 40% that are taking into the system. Don't have a home, don't have a family, don't have anything. And at that time, I was preaching, you know, one of those famous series, Find a Need, Meet a Need, you know, find the biggest need and meet it. So when I found out what the biggest need was, I have a philosophy, don't ask people to do what you're not doing. So my wife and I got our license and began to do the trainings, and we started taking children and loving on them and challenging churches. And now I'm also a director of development for Phased In, which is an aftercare ministry where when they age out and have nowhere to go, we phase them back in. It's called Phased In. And so we give them someone to love on them, take care of them, get them into college. If they'll just do that, it's free, but 2% take advantage. And I think we need to change all that, just change it completely. And that's what God has been doing in our lives. And we've had adoptions in our church. We are challenging everybody to be, I want everybody to be involved in rest, but that's something we don't have enough of. Somebody will say, you guys need a night off. I mean, I love that. Well, you need a night off. Or can you take, well, I just want to take your kid. I'm like, no, I'll get in trouble. Won't I? You know, just can't drop them kids off anywhere. You know, some people do, but it's hard to get the kids out of our hands if you've noticed. But we love what we're doing because it's changing lives. It's helping every situation. And I kind of chuckle with the people that know us. They'll tell me and my wife, out of the 15 that we've helped in the last couple of years, you always get the best children. Okay, one was traumatized so bad she couldn't even count to 5, and she was in the she was in the 1st grade. And I had one that was a 4-pound meth baby. Highest level of meth addiction in the blood of an infant they'd ever recorded in the Lubbock Hospital. And they were like, "Are you sure you want to take this baby?" And we don't ask if it's something we ought to do. If you're asking yourself that, you probably won't do it, because there's very few things in life we think we ought to do. And one of the things if I had a moment to share my heart, I wanted to tell all of us here. Avoid becoming an expert. You will not do the next thing because you won't know how to do it. It's the things you don't know how to do that God will inspire you to do. And there's always, when I talk to people, we're not ready yet. We're going to prepare. We're going to train. I said, the kids are waiting at the door and you're getting ready. Just do it. But we're not ready. Good. You know, the feeding of 5,000, the disciples weren't ready. And if it's a miracle and you explain it, it wasn't a miracle. And God's got all the miracles ready for people of gatherings like this. Because 2 Corinthians 5:18 through 20, I love the message teaching on that. We are divine influencers. It's not who we are, it's who is in us that we share who he is. And this is all about influencing, right? What are we influencing to do? Right now, what is the influence? What is the influence? Is that little girl? See this? All them children? If we ever stop talking about the children, and we talk about the mechanics, and we talk about the trainings, we've lost it. Trainings and education are tools. And sometimes you pick them up as you go. But they're not the focus. I talk some people into becoming parents of children. I'm really bad. He knows my story. I'm afraid to say it here. Afraid someone might record it, but I really despise the F word. Foster. I see y'all's minds went somewhere else. But I really do, because I work with Teen Challenge Adult Centers as a counselor and teacher as well. And bless you guys. I deal with guys in their 50s. Oh, I was a foster kid. What? You're 50. You're saying you were a foster kid? That's your excuse? That's your label? That's your reason for still being involved in addictions and problems? So we got to be careful what we're doing. It's focusing. And someone that I talked into, I'm a divine influencer. I talk people into doing stuff they don't want to do. They became foster parents. There's that word. And they said, I didn't know there's so much paperwork. Man, that's just overkill. It's got 5 people coming by this week to my house. I don't have time. I can't get off work. What do they think I am? And I said, okay, it is overkill. Some things in the state, ladies, please put your ears, are overkill. Too much. But do it anyway. Because we're focused on the children. And if they overkill in that area, we're going to overkill in the care area. We're going to overkill in the number of uncles. See, my Joe's got him an uncle. And now, this guy, the little guy we've been carrying around, my Joe, he just like latched onto him. Now, one thing I'll tell you about my Joe, if I walk up to my Joe, I don't care who's holding him, he dives for me. I walked up to him and Joe had him and he didn't dive for me. So I was really upset that he had his little arm around your neck and going, the thing he does, and just looking around like I've arrived. This guy loves me. He's got a new uncle. Family, everywhere we go. And my wife will tell you the therapy for these children is when you dress them up everywhere you go. They got to have shoes on. They got to have matching everything on. Did y'all see him a while ago? It's very costly, I know. But when they go out into public, part of the people's attitude toward those children heals them. Because there's something. There's somebody. They're being talked to. You can't walk into a restaurant. And I love this. Is this your grandbaby? Oh, this is my baby. Can't you tell this man? Because the majority of them have been children of color. So they're like, this is your baby? How'd that happen? Guys, we have fun. We're family. The rule at my house is I'm in the floor. I don't care what I've been through, how far I've driven and driven back. I could be 5 hours to Waxahachie and 5 hours back, and I make it home at 7 o'clock before he goes to bed. We're on the floor playing. That's a rule. It's life we're interjecting. And in our congregation, they're all aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. And everywhere we go, it's all about the children. The bishop will tell you that all I talk about. Well, wait a minute. We're talking about this. We're talking about the money. We're talking about that. What about the children? What about the children? Ladies and gentlemen, I love you. So glad that we could be here for this. You're important. You're incredible. Those that work in the state, you're our heroes because you see stuff that we wish you didn't have to see. one of our caseworkers, one of the twins. We had twins brought into our home a little while back. Dad and mom decided to separate the boy from the girl. Dad was a terrible dad. The child was never changed, never picked up, left in the crib until he had defecated so much it was dried completely around the silhouette of his body. And he was crammed a bottle in his mouth, and that was it. That's all the Carrie got. The CPS worker had to scrape him up off of that. And she cried. That's the worst scene in her mind. She said, I've never had a scene worse than that in my mind. The doctor told us he was maybe hours or a day from dying from not being held or touched. He postured so bad that he made an absolute backward C every time you tried to hold him. Yeah, we get the best ones. But when he left our house, he was laughing, playing, hugging, and loving. Why? Because there's someone in our lives who is greater than us, who knows the nature of every child and every one of us at a level that we're going to change the entire world. And people say it's just too big a job. If 7% of the world's professing Christians would take one child, there would be no orphan on any street anywhere in the world. The father's saying, oh, you're saying it's too hard? Yeah, because we won't even pay him his 10% in our offerings, you know? So when he says 7% of y'all just listen to me, see, we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it's easier. Now, it's not easy, but it's easier than we're making it. We're just not allowing God to use us, as I shared 2 Corinthians 5:18-20. Read it in the Message. It's very inspirational. We are divine influencers. We're here to persuade men what God wants them to do. I love you guys. This is an incredible place. Sorry I can't sit with the panel today. I was wanting to hang out for everything, but my friend keeps texting me. He said, come on, have you started home yet? I can't. These people have my heart. So I love you. Thank you, Bishop. You guys are incredible. And y'all just have a great day. Y'all have a great day.
Awesome. Hey, listen, so grateful for those words. If you work with CPS or the state, can you just wave your hand? Just don't be scared. Don't be scared. Give a hand praise for them. Hey, matter of fact, if y'all don't mind just standing for one moment, we just want to recognize you for a minute. We want to recognize you. Listen, this next portion here, they said, Pastor Alex, we can bypass this. We don't need to be on the panel. We